Welcome to the Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss podcast. I want to start today's podcast episode by jumping right into some videos that I've made, bringing together all of my client wins from the 11 years that I've been doing this full time. 2015, I started this full time. I was doing it so full time 10 years, but still doing it prior to that. I found hypnosis in 2011. And as skeptical as I was, it changed my life. Everything has changed since then. I just talked to potential client today, lovely, lovely woman, uh, almost approaching age 70, and just looking to make her next decade the best one. And she asked me about my story and how did I end up doing this and my background. And I shared with her around, first of all, how this was never my plan. But once I discovered coaching, once I discovered hypnosis and the impact it made in my life, and recognizing that I could actually help people learn how to use their mind and their body at the same time to create food freedom and any other results that they wanted to achieve in their life, I mean, forget about it. I was just hooked. I feel like I've been called to this. It feels like a vocation, not an occupation. And I feel just super grateful, honestly. Um, anyway, without further ado, I decided I want to share this right off the bat with you because recently, actually, I was listening to a YouTube video and this coach who was talking about different helpful things and how he's helped his clients in stories. And then he actually showed a video of his clients giving a testimonial. And it was like it made the whole ball game change. So I'm almost like, it's almost maybe it's not even useful for you to listen to me. Though I do try to make sure that I'm providing value every single week for the last 5 years or however long this podcast has been going on, weekly podcasts consistently coming out for your benefit. Um, there's just nothing that can compare to other people's experiences. So I'm going to share my screen if you are watching this on YouTube. And if you are listening in your ears, all good. You will still be able to listen to some of my clients here. So let me share this now.
My first diet, I was 10 years old, writing down how many calories were in my Cheerios at morning.
I always have that white noise in my head about what I should be eating, what shouldn't I be eating, and it just got really super tiring.
It just, what am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? How many calories are in that? Constantly on like repeat.
I couldn't work hard at this issue and be successful. It just didn't work.
My doctor, she said, your issue is really on the inside. You know how to lose weight. That's the work you need to do.
I realized I had a lot of childhood traumas. It's the source of my eating disorder.
I think what I realized most in the program is it was never about the food.
I've gained confidence and control, and I've let go of feeling like a prisoner to food.
I can walk down the cookie aisle and nobody's calling my name. Like, it's just not happening.
There's a sort of a sense of peace that I feel like continues to grow inside of me that is new, completely new.
There have been times when I said no and I didn't go have it, which is like everything.
I have not been stress eating, and that's my biggest takeaway from this program right now.
Whether I'm 10 pounds heavier or 10 pounds lighter, the truth is it doesn't really matter.
I can look in the mirror and I see a beautiful woman staring back at me now.
I wish I could be that person, and now I am that person, and it's just so freeing.
If you're thinking that you want to change your life, change your life. It's going to be hard. It might be really easy. You never know.
Be gentle with yourself. Don't be so judgmental on yourself, and jump in. Seriously, jump in.
Yay. Thank you so much. I love my clients so much. I'm going to share another one, but I will save that for in just a little bit here. So let's talk about our podcast episode today that I have, been excited to share with you about. First of all, last week's masterclass, if you're listening to this in real time for when this came out, I couldn't be more thankful. I the conversations that I've had with people who have booked calls with me after attending last week's masterclass, I mean, the amount of depth, the amount of authenticity, the amount of realness, the amount of that have come out of that, I believe because of my nailing down why we haven't been able to master the food, body, and weight thing or lose weight permanently. Ugh, it just makes me my heart so happy because ever since I found hypnosis myself, it's like, how can I communicate to people, about what's possible on the other side? And I feel like we did that. And I'm just want to congratulate anyone who has taken that first step for themselves and joined the program, has become a client, and yeah, just thank all the things that made it possible to have such a successful masterclass. And if you weren't able to attend live, no worries. My next few podcasts that I'm putting out, I really want to kind of bring in some of those elements that I was able to communicate in the masterclass for your benefit. So, yeah, today I want to talk about why you're not failing and the fact that you're just in survival mode. Yeah, so I want to start with a reframe on this first. So, number one, I get it. I know that it absolutely feels like you're failing when you know all the right things to do, you know what you're supposed to eat, but you're just not doing it. But I want to let you know that that actually is not true. You're not failing, you're just actually in survival mode. And the patterns that you think of being bad as bad habits, whatever it is, late night eating, snacking, mindless eating, overdoing it on the sugar, right? Whatever those food rules are, those bad habits you have, it's actually your nervous system that's actually trying to keep you safe. It's not you. It's not you. But the fact that you think that it's you is why this ends up being such a problem. So let's slow down for a second. So, say you're someone who, again, you know everything about food, you've read the books, you know the diets, you could coach other people on how to lose weight successfully. You're health conscious, you're smart, you've been able to achieve things, you've experienced things in life. You've done maybe Whole30, you've done Weight Watchers, maybe you've done intermittent fasting, maybe you're doing that now, maybe you've dabbled with the GLP ones, maybe you're totally against them. All right, you've done all the things, but on stressful days, you can't stop yourself from stress eating, emotional eating, binging, whatever you describe it as. And the self-sabotage is real, and then you get mad at yourself the next day and say, why am I doing that? And all of that. So you blame yourself. What's wrong with me? Why can't I just stick to it? I know I feel better when I don't have sugar. I know I feel better when I don't eat X, Y, and Z. Here's what's happening. Your trigger hits. That stress, for some it's loneliness, that pressure, and then your trauma gets activated. Now, we talk about how sometimes we think of trauma and we think of it's a really big deal, but the truth is we all have trauma, whether it's bigger trauma or whether it's more minute. It's just really your nervous system experiences something, has a reaction, and then basically your unconscious mind memorizes the reaction. When that happens enough times, that trigger cycle happens enough times, you actually form an identity. And if you think about it, it just makes sense. Like if someone told you, like, you're ugly as a kid one time, it would probably create, some havoc. But if you were told you were ugly over and over and over and over and over again, you might actually start to believe it. The way the unconscious mind actually changes is through repetition and emotion. Now, it doesn't have to be that because that's a pretty mean thing to say. And right, some people come to me, they have those types of things. Some people it's less, it's more incognito, if you will. So it could just be that maybe as a kid you weren't as emotionally cared for. Maybe you had a big family, or maybe you were a turnkey kid or a latchkey kid, right? Your parents worked all the time, and so you're kind of on your own. Or maybe you came from a family where, like, the firstborn takes care of the whole family, or you felt responsible at a young age for everybody in your family. So again, your nervous system just kind of takes on that stress, that fear, that responsibility, and memorizes it. And again, until it becomes an identity, like I have to care for everybody else before myself. I am responsible. And we know that there's good aspects about that. That makes you who you are. We don't want to change the fact that you're kind and caring and generous and loving, but where do we draw the line of where this is actually hurting our health, hurting your health, hurting your health habits, hurting your relationships, whatever it is? So with the identity, some examples of the identity was like, I'm not good enough, even like I'm a sugar addict, I can't control myself, I always mess things up, I'm a failure. Some people that I talk to, they're super aware of what this is for themselves, and some people, they don't even know it. They just know they have the food challenge. But if we dive deep, we'll find a flavor of this every single time. Every single human being has this. So then that identity kicks in and your brain grabs onto whatever it can grab onto, something to soothe the pain. Usually food. It can also be a new diet, though. It can also be any form of control. I have a client who just joined the program and, she admitted that she can be really controlling with the people she loves the most. She doesn't want to be that way. It's unconscious. Yeah. And we can get easily frustrated or easily angered at the people in our life that we care the most about. And then you beat yourself up for that. But it's so innocent. It's not your fault. This is just what happens. So here's the thing. You cannot heal survival with another plan. I'm going to make sure you hear me when I say that. You cannot heal survival with another plan. You actually need an entirely new paradigm, an entirely new paradigm in order to actually experience freedom in this area of your life, to not have to be doing this. And that's what we do inside the program. I bring my clients through 3 transformative phases. So number 1 phase is food freedom. So this is where we quiet the food noise, we rewire the brain and calm the nervous system so it no longer thinks food is the only safety. We eliminate your food obsession. We definitely stop the binge restrict cycle and make it feel safe to be in your body. Phase 2 is the no rules food and movement plan. So this is the fun part. This is where we get to ditch the rules and start trusting yourself again. You begin listening to what your body is actually asking for, not just what the latest diet tells you should be eating. Big difference. You find a rhythm with food and movement that feels easy and enjoyable and sustainable, and one that you actually want to follow. And then phase 3, going into emotional mastery. So this is the real game changer. You learn how to regulate emotions, communicate your truth, set boundaries, stop reacting from fear or guilt. You don't fall off anymore because there's nothing to fall off because you designed it. There's no plan. There's no rules. It's not a diet. It's a way of being, a way of being. So if you were to imagine a picture of 2 women. Okay, so say woman A weighs 150 pounds, woman B weighs 200 pounds. And say, just for the purpose of an example, you're woman B that weighs 200 pounds, and you are following all the rules. You maybe are doing really, vigorous workouts. You are trying so hard to do the right thing. Maybe you're intermittent fasting. Maybe you're, talking about it, logging food. You're in other programs, whatever it is. And you look over at person B and she weighs, or person A rather, she weighs 150 pounds. And you watch her, maybe at a party or a social event, I just had a client who said this, all my friends. And you see that she can have whatever she wants. She's eating whatever she wants. She's free. She's this, she's that. And totally normal to feel some jealousy, even some anger, some frustration. Why me? Why can't I have that? Look at me. I'm working so hard over here. I remember feeling that way all through high school. Like I was at the gym. I was tracking food. I knew all the things there were to do about food. I struggled with this. Nobody else did. My weight didn't seem to budge. Okay, so what's the difference? Well, the 150-pound woman, she actually doesn't have food rules. She eats what she wants. She chooses foods that make her feel good in her body, regardless of what they are. She doesn't shame herself. She doesn't judge herself. She doesn't restrict herself. She does movement that she actually loves. And so, in order for this transformation to occur, we need to support you again with this whole paradigm shift and to work on those 3 phases that I just mentioned. Okay. So it's not a diet, it's a way of being. And once you feel that shift in your body, in your nervous system, you'll never want to go back and you won't be able to. You won't even want to. You definitely won't want to. So I want to share with you now the second video that I have for you. This is going to primarily show you some of the clients' testimonials from the first phase where we're really getting the eating under control. So let me share my screen now. And if you're listening on audio, you'll hear a slight pause as I get this all set up for you here.
I've basically always struggled with weight. By the time I was a junior in high school, I was like morbidly obese.
I've dieted my whole life and have never lost more than 20 pounds.
A big thing for me has just always been up and down with my weight. I literally tried everything.
Every day of my life, I've been on a diet. So you go out with your friends and you enjoy that. And then you beat yourself up the next day because you're like, damn it.
It was like this roller coaster of I could go up 30 pounds and down 20 once or twice a year.
I literally tried everything. It was always a struggle for me. It was like so hard for me to keep the weight off.
But it really was very telling that, oh my gosh, some dieting doesn't work for me.
I finally realized I needed something different to tackle this, and so just decided to try this and see what happens.
It really was just so different than anything I've ever tried. It's so counterintuitive.
It gets at what the core issues are, and it's not another diet, and that's the point of it.
When I realized I never had to technically go on a diet again, that was insane to me.
It's not about food. It's not about exercising. That was the part that really did it for me, is that just knowing that it's me. This is me.
The food becomes so far down the list, and I think that's part of the win.
And all that stress just lifted, like a heavy wet blanket started to come off. Every stomach issue I have or had is completely gone.
I would honestly recommend this for anybody who's looking for a change.
It's the first time in my whole life I know I will never gain any of this weight back.
Advocate for yourself and sign up. It's a life-changing moment. It's a life-changing journey.
I think anybody who's under stress or pressure could definitely benefit from this type of stuff.
Just do it. I promise you, it's the best thing you'll ever do for yourself.
Awesome. Good. So I hope that's helpful to you. And so I want to invite you, as my computer plays the video again, to take the next step for yourself. And I want to invite you to book a call. Now, here's something that's not a made up thing. I actually am so excited. My sister is coming into town with my niece in July. And so I am taking some time off to be with her, to be with them. And so my calendar does have very limited availability in July. I, of course, will remain ever present for my current clients. So if you're listening to this, no worries. This will not affect you in any way. And for those of you who are new and you know that it's time to get some extra support for yourself in this area of life, just know there is limited availability. So you can head over to the website if you want to grab your spot before anyone else has it for July. The link is hpwl.co/apply. And you'll be able to pick a time on my calendar, and I'll do my best to get you in if possible sooner. I apologize that it's taking a little bit longer if you have to wait a bit. But yes, you'll fill out some questions. Make sure you do a good job filling out those questions. I really do review them and get prepared for your initial call prior to our first meeting. And I'm just going to ask you a few questions just to work out if or how I might be able to help you out. And if I can, then we'll continue the conversation, and see how things go. Good. So if you know that you're ready for this, if these client testimonials inspire you, I hope they do. Let me know if you enjoy me sharing these different aspects, if it helps you the way that it helped me understand that other coach I listened to. Yeah, please let me know, and I will keep looking for ways to help people really get what's possible when you take that first step for yourself. Good. So if you're ready for this kind of peace and power, I want to invite you to book a free call, hpwl.co/apply. So again, as we start talking together, this is where we're really looking at your patterns, also your triggers, your identity loop. And if you're sad you missed the masterclass, by booking the call, if you mention that to me on the call, I'm happy to share the replay with you as well. It's really, really valuable. But we look at your patterns together, your triggers, your identity loop, and we really map how we can shift it for you. And you'll walk away from any call with me with clarity, with direction, which is really the first real lasting step to freedom. So go ahead. The link will be in the show notes, hpwl.co/apply. Please remember, you are not broken. You're not failing. There's nothing wrong with you. Consider, if this resonates with you, that you might actually just be ready to evolve into that next level version of yourself, maybe that 150-pound version of yourself who actually enjoys her life, says yes to herself, values herself, and puts herself first instead of last. Let's do this together. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you for the next episode.
Ready to finally break free from the diet hamster wheel and create lasting transformation? I've put together a free hypnosis training just for you, where I break down why diets keep failing, the mindset shifts you need to stop the cycle, and how to rewire your subconscious for true effortless change. Text the word hypnosis to 1-855-232-5483 and I'll send it to you instantly. You don't have to keep struggling. Real freedom starts now. Take the first step. Text the word hypnosis to 1-855-232-5483.